Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the Wrestling Hand.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes,
In the Wrestling Hand.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And, you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. Do you know where we can find that?
Yes,
On the Wrestling Ham.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And, you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. Do you know where we can find that?
Yes,
On the Wrestling Ham.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends, I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And, you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. Do you know where we can find that?
Yes,
On the Wrestling Ham.
that's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And, you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes.
On the Wrestling Ham.
That's right.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It is the AwesomeCast, and I'm Blinky. I don't know what's going on here. I need a different cord to plug in. So I just started doing this at the beginning of the show. Apparently, we have a bad HDMI, and we're going to try to fix it real quick. And I'm going to give a new one for the final cut in 3, 2. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron, and the social medias in the Sorgatron medias, Pittsburgh, PA. The audio is a lot better. I am going to bring a microphone. I have the Zooms. I'm going to bring a second one for Katie's computer. I hated how things sounded last week, but I did run things through the Adobe AI to make it a little better for you guys on the podcast, checking it afterwards. If you want to, you can go to the YouTube and listen to the live version, and then listen to the when we post it a little bit later. And you can kind of see the difference with me and Katie's audio on there. Also, we just look terrible because we were off of that flight and no sleep too. So anyways, I got with me a well-rested Dave Potter is with us.
So well rested and refreshed and everything else.
Bro, I barely recognized you when you sent me the video last week because you got this goatee thing going on. You have this like you just have this like flipped vibe to you right now. It's really working for you. That's a respect goatee.
Yes. Of course, I took it from the Star Trek original series.
Yes.
Because, you know, if you have a goatee, you are quite evil.
Yeah.
Even though you're logical still.
Hello, evil Podner. With the goatee there. So good to have you here, of course, as always. Katie's out on assignment this week, but we're going to have a lot of fun here. So in the meantime, let's get into our awesome things of the week. I got a physical thing. Listen, last week, everybody's going crazy about Book 8 of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Yes, we went and got it. I came back on Sunday. Missy's on the book before it. I'm like on the book 2 books before the one book 8 that just came out in the Dungeon Crawler Carl phase, but I decided at the last minute. I was like, oh, I know what comes out Tuesday. It's the physical edition of the Webtoons comic book. I did not expect it to be like this shorter digest size of it. There was a box sitting outside and say that's too small for a comic book. So it's not the full. I don't have any other comic books handy. There's some in the back but it is a digest. But also, if you looked at the webtoons, it's kind of a peculiar format to begin with. So they have reconciled all of that. It is in book form, and it's got that. There's a name for it, but there's like kind of a Korean style to the art there. And when you listen to Carl or see the cover art, this anime looking Dungeon Crawler Carl is not entirely what you expect, but I'm kind of here for it. So it goes through. It's only the first 13 episodes. I think they have 30 so far, and it comprises of basically the first half of the first book. They're going to start releasing the second season, which I think is Floor 2, the second half of the first book, coming up here in about a week. I think before the end of the month is going to start popping up. But in the meantime, just like I have the audio versions, Missy has the physical editions. I think Katie has been listening to the audio, but also has the physical book editions to dive into. And the physical book editions do have a bonus chapter in them that I'm not getting on the audio. So I need to go back through all the books and read the chapter at the end, because apparently from things I'm reading, it may have implications on the new book. So if you're kind of curious about the Dungeon Crawler Carl thing, want to pick this guy up, it's volume 1. It's by what is the publisher on this one? I saw it on the day one stuff. Vault Comics, excuse me, is where that is. So you can see it through there. I would, you can either check it out here. Again, go to webtoons.com and look up Dungeon Crawler Carl on there, and you kind of dive into what basically the story is presented visually. And if you like it and you want to go past the little bit that they've done so far in the first half of the book, or I guess sixth of the book is apparently what this is. It's worth a while there. It was like $15 on Amazon. I think it retails for $20. So it's not a bad. It's pretty dense as far as comic books go. So I would, it's a graphic novel, honestly. So, but I do appreciate having that physical edition. I'm kind of reading back through it, and this has become this point where Katie's been listening back through as we were traveling and everything along the way, and you pick up details and stuff, and she's read some of it. My wife is I think she's in the 7th book. The 8th one just came out, and I have been. The Audible has been up because when I go on like some longer trips and stuff, I'll put the audiobook up. And she's like, goes ahead and hits play, because I usually don't want to bother with it, but she's blasted way past me, and she started like 2 months after I did. So she's enjoying listening to the audio version of it, recalling parts that she read, and I saw her today like gleefully saying, I know what's coming up here, kind of give me a look. So it's a really interesting multimedia shared experience, because now it is something that we are exploring on like literally 3 different formats now, between the audio, the print edition, the text print editions, and now a graphic print edition. I actually want to encourage her to kind of roll through this as well, to just as an aside, experiment to it, to like kind of see, if she gets a different vibe off of it. There's little things that they've changed visually, contextually, just for presentation visually with this. I think you're, much like if you see something convert to like a television edition, I keep sitting here thinking while I'm listening to the audiobook, how would they do this as a series, for instance? How would they format things? What things would have to be tweaked? Obviously there's a lot of exposition in this book. And I'm realizing more and more that some of that exposition in Dungeon Crawler Carl is the reason Seth MacFarlane probably loved it. So there's 2 things that I connected this week. One, I got to the part in the audiobooks where Patrick Warburton actually contributes a voice to the audiobook for one of the characters, which is really funny, because if you listen to the early books, the voice is kind of not set in yet. And they always just say like, oh, he's just doing a Patrick Warburton impression, and then they insert him later down the line in a later book, which is kind of fun, right? But also, he's got a pretty good connection with Seth MacFarlane, and as I'm reading the book, there's a lot of these points where, oh, that's really gross. It's just like that time, such and such did this at such and such. There's all these callbacks, which I am realizing are completely a Family Guy trope. That they're doing, because they're doing this. Hey, it's like that time such and such, and usually Family Guy would flash that scene, and I think when we get to the Dungeon Crawler Carl, we may get that. Because, all those things. It's just like that at one time, such and such did something weird at the cat show from Donut or something, right? And like we could just kind of see that scene as a cutaway as part of the thing. Or we'll do none of it. I don't know. But there's just like one of these where like, oh, it's like that time, blah, 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 blah. And it feels like it's like an entire 2-paragraph thing. And then just like, okay, and I just get to the point where characters are calling out, nobody understands your references. So it's become meta on itself. It was already kind of meta on itself because of the concept. End of the world game show happening, everybody's seeing it. The dungeon is a show that everybody's watching, and it's exterminating basically the people of Earth, kind of thing, right? And it's been a real interesting blast for that. And top of like, I'm loving seeing all of the different art and stickers and T-shirts. So there is representation of a lot of these characters as well. So it's really, if you haven't heard about this yet, it's obviously swelling really big right now with a new book release. So it's probably creeping into you. Or you see the pile of them at Barnes and Noble if you frequent that. So if you don't know, you're gonna know about it, and we're priming Podner now. And this is the part, Podner, where if you have any questions about this, I know we keep subjecting you to this book.
Well, okay, now I just want to make sure. Right now, it's a physical book, a graphic novel, and an audio of the book itself.
Yes, and there's actually two audio editions, because there's also a theatrical performance by the same people that did the audio book, and the audio is performed. It's not just somebody reading it and kind of has some weird voices. Sometimes there's sound effects. Sometimes there's there's effects on the voices, for instance. Somebody gets an auto-tune upgrade, for instance, and then every time and I forgot that because I'm like, why does her voice talk like that when they're in battle? Oh, she has the auto-tune kind of situation there. Slight spoiler alert, but you'll forget about it by the time you're 5 books in, or whenever the hell that happens.
Let me ask you: is there foreshadowing where when Missy's listening to it with you, she's like, without spoiling.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that. That's what I experienced today, actually.
I just read something, and
she's an entire book ahead of me now, by the way. But she read this book like last week, so then I'm on. That's been taking me 4 weeks to get through. She is a speed reader. I swear, it's incredible. If you look at go look at a stack of books, stack of Dungeon Crawl. If you look at the stack of books, they are they get bigger. They started at like a 12-hour book, I think was the first one. I'm up to a 26-hour book for the 6th one. Wow. I think I'm on. It definitely feels intimidating to get into initially. But why did I asked for a stack of books and I got Animal Crossing New Leaf. I hate Bing so bad right now.
Okay, I do see that if you want to get all of them on Kindle, as a group, it's $45.
Sure, for that the digital version of it. Yes.
Yeah.
And I've been getting on Audible, so it's been that. This gives you. Oh wait, where's he at? Oh, I forgot to plug this in. Excuse me. Pardon me. I'm out of my comfort zone here.
May I suggest and plug? If you're interested in reading these, maybe check out your local library, and I'm sure they either have it.
Oh yes.
Or they can get it for you. Or don't forget, most libraries, including the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, go with the mobile app that allows you to read stuff virtually, like a Kindle, but through the library system.
Yeah.
So if you're interested but don't want to spend the pile-o money to actually get it, if you're not sure if you're going to get into it or not, check out your library. Great stuff.
I would have preferred that we went through the library, considering how much money we spent on the books that Missy went to get him. But that's fine. That's fine.
The app is called Libby, by the way.
Hoopla is what I go through on my side,
Okay.
and I'm not seeing it listed there. Libby is another one that they go through as well that you can link to. I like Hoopla because there's a lot of the comic books on it. So they should most definitely have the physical version of this if you want to go through it. If you're can read within those times and everything like that. So let me see if I can get this restarted here. Oh no, where are we at? So now that I got this connected, there we go. That gives you an idea of how big the books are, by the way, if you're on video. The newest book is on top, so that kind of gives you the idea. So yeah, they're pretty formidable read here. They're not Lord of the Rings. They're not it's if you understand video games and Dungeons and Dragons and like sci-fi, you'll be pretty, and goofy sci-fi. You'll be pretty in on it. It's got, you haven't read Ready Player One, the entirety of it, but that kind of idea you get from the movie. It's a little bit like that. It's very, I love the other book that he has was described as like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of Last Starfighter. And it's like, this kind of is too, a little bit too. So, but yeah, it's worthwhile. It's, I love the guy that explains, he's like, it's a great book, but explaining the concept to somebody else makes you sound like you have issues. Like, it's a guy and he has his underwear and he's in his underwear and he's not wearing shoes for the entirety of books, and he's got a talking cat on his shoulder that shoots missiles from his eyes named Princess Donut, and they have a dinosaur, and the cat will ride the dinosaur. And then there's this, and I don't want to get into more of it because it's spoilers for anybody out there. And I realize,
I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
but I will let you know I did check it out on Libby, and also all the books. Let me see if all of them are only down to 7.
Okay.
So the first 7 books. Now, number 1, you have to place a hold on.
8 just came out a week ago, so
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But in number 1, number 2, at least for the Carnegie Library Pittsburgh, which is the card I have on here and through here. But number 3 is available, number 4 is available,
Mm-hmm.
and 7 there ones you can place hold on.
And you're probably gonna have trouble getting the first and second ones, because everybody's
catch
hopping
them
on it.
up.
Because I don't know, I see a post all the time where it's just like, nope, just started. When I went to Purdue University back in February, remember, I sat down, I was just in the first couple of chapters of this thing, and the guy next to me who had a Pitt shirt on was literally just in the first few pages of the first book physically, and like happened to sit down next to him. I was like, that's amazing. It's a phenomenon, and everybody's going to be in on it very, 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 very shortly. So, but anyways, that's my pick, Dungeon Crawler Carl, Volume 1. And again, it's probably going to be everywhere. I'm sure it's going to be in Barnes and Nobles as well. So probably comic book shops. They did have a episode 1.0 something for Free Comic Book Day. That ended up being a cluster. A lot of people complaining about how the comic book shops handled that, and some people even grabbing multiple copies to sell or paying whatever for extra copies and just blowing them out. I'm so glad I ended up not being available to go to my local comic shop. I kind of wanted to try it, but after I heard how a lot of it went, I'm really kind of glad I didn't try, because I don't even know my closest comic book shop is. There might be still one over in Brookline. I'm not sure. The Geek Drone's still there. But otherwise, I would go to, like, I don't know, Homestead or something for New Dimension, for something like that. So very cool. I mean, again, it's just something to go on my shelf, and look through and have the physical. I can open up the app anytime and read it. So, for free, but it's still nice. I do like the physical on something like this that is become such a phenomenon and something I'm so very interested in right now. It's got me over that hump of fiction reading. I am so just enamored with this thing and stretching, and I know there's points where I just skip stuff. I'm going to reread this. That's the other reason why I purchased all this stuff. I'm going to go back through this. Yeah. The new book comes out. I'm going to be putting this on in the background. This is book wise how I feel when I put the Superman movie on, just as comfort food, when I'm going to bed at night. You know, it's completely slotted in there, and it's wonderful. So, Dave, what is your awesome thing of the week?
Sure. My awesome thing is an app. It's been out for a little bit, but my co-host Dwight on the iPhoneography podcast is absolutely in love with it. And so I downloaded it. It is free with I would say somewhat limited functionality.
Okay.
You can still take photo. Basically, it's a simulator for vintage cameras.
This is the Daz Cam, DAZZ.
Yep, Daz Cam. So, not all of the cameras are available at no cost. And there is either a subscription or is a $20 one-time lifetime purchase. So you get a large variety, and we all know, I mean, we've seen, like, if you look at 880 and just a lot of people online, they're actually using vintage cameras.
You're talking about 880 wrestling.
880 wrestling.
Yes, for those that don't know.
Yeah. Or, you know, you see a lot of people using actual vintage cameras that we had 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that we were like, oh, the new stuff's out. That's going to be so much better than this piece of... And so we don't want to use this old film camera. We want to do the new hotness. Well, now they're all going back to the old camera. So you can sort of tell by the icons what camera they're trying to emulate. They don't come out and just spit out and say, oh, this is a Fujifilm camera. This is a Canon camera. This is, you know, mainly because I imagine they don't want to get their butts sued, which makes sense. But if you look at the image, it looks like the camera that you're looking at. They even have older cameras like the medium format, the one that actually fold out to do. So not only do you get the filtering that's involved there, you can tweak it if you want. So you can change, you know, the brightness, change the colors, change the warmth and everything else. Some of them you can change the border that goes around or the aspect ratio. And they also have vintage video cameras. So if you wanted to do a video that looked like an 8mm video from back in the day, you can do that, and it does a really good job at it. It's only for taking pictures. It's not for editing, though. So once you set up and get everything, you can edit, of course, afterwards in whatever program you want, but there's no editing inside the program. It's also very easy to use. Once you bring it up, you can click on the bottom right, click the camera you want. Once you do that, you can select your options too, but once the camera's up, it just, you know, point at what you want to take a picture of and hit the button. So it's relatively straightforward. It outputs it right to your camera roll, so you don't have to worry about, you know, it's saving somewhere else and you having to export it out and maybe losing things or having multiple libraries. I know some do that. And it gives it's also there's a very active subreddit on it. And the photos that are coming out are really artistic looking, where they don't have that, oh, it looks like it was taken on a cell phone look, which I know a lot of people, some people are trying to get away from. So you can either, like I said, use filters in other editing programs or try to use this as a, you know, to make something a little bit different.
Very cool. Very cool. So, and you have some samples here, of course. I mean, and again, like some of this like looks really good too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you got some purple flowers here that look pretty great. You can see it is a little bit. You got a little bit of like the noir edging kind of happening here.
Yep. A little burn-in look there. Yep.
You got some boats, and you got that little Film Pro 400 lines on the side. Like this feels like, I mean, it feels like we're kind of just hitting some of those early Instagram filters, right?
Yeah, and that's a video right there. So you can see that gives you I think that was the like a VHS tape.
Yeah. Oh, I needed this. I was working on a project for somebody that I'm hoping I can hope we can get through marketing and I can show you. And I was like trying to figure out like what's a good VHS effect. And everything I had on hand in the programs I had were really like too much. Like too much distortion, right? I just wanted to look like, because we were mimicking something from like the early 2000s, and I was like, oh, I need to do something more to this, kind of situation. Oh, I can bring the saturation up. That's what I kind of figured, and I did bump it a little bit. So, but not to the effect that I really think I should have. So, either way, so that's a Dazcam, DAZZCAM. Did you see how much are the in-app purchases for this? Is it just one to unlock everything?
I know it's a one-time purchase of, like I said, $20 one-time purchase, and you have everything. I think otherwise it's $7 a year, $7 or $8 a year. I don't think it has a monthly one, if I remember correctly.
Cool. Very
I'm
cool.
gonna try to see if I have it here, but you know, one of the issues, of course, is once you purchase something, it's very hard to see the what the actual other prices are. Yeah, 1 year $7, and they have like the individual filters for like $1 or $2. So if you wanted, like, you want the fisheye lens that you can add on, that's a $2 one-time purchase. But you can use that on multiple filters. Or like I said, if you want to try 1 year, $7. And I think that comes with a 1 week trial period. But like I said, the one-time purchase is only it's $20, which really isn't too bad for the amount of filters you're getting and the amount of creativity you get from it.
Sure. I did take, let's see, I can put this here so you guys can look at it. So I did take a quick selfie with mine using, looked like it was some kind of film camera, and you kind of get the idea there. I do want to keep this.
Yep, so you just hit the camera on the,
Yep. I can't bring up the camera while I have it here on the dock.
And one thing is, for the zoom there, you can either do a frame zoom or a full screen zoom.
Sure.
So if you zoom in, you can leave it like a white border or make it where it just zooms out to the full frame.
This gives you an idea of it's got the
yeah, like I say, if you look at if you can tell, like you can, if you're somewhat familiar with what the cameras look like back in the day, like the yellow one there on the bottom, it looks like it's a Kodak camera. You look at it, it's
it's one of those
and it does give you samples.
It's the Kodak disposable camera basically, so it gives you some samples on that. So I think that's really cool. So, and if you go in and want to purchase it, there is $6.99 a year, like you said, and that does support family sharing. But I see the one-time purchase I don't believe does. So you could play with that. Redevelop the film negatives after shooting to adjust exposure or color. Ooh. So Daz Pro, that's Dazcam. That's what we got going on this week. Very, very cool. I don't know if we had much opportunity, but there are more photos. I'm sure she's going to have some for Formula as well. But Katie was taking her Nikon Coolpix S550, and we saw somebody with a Polaroid, and I was like, you need to take a picture of the person with a Polaroid with your Coolpix and vice versa. So here's some pictures from Baja and some of the action on there as well. I'm very interested in seeing. Oh, there's a pool noodle fight happening. I'm very interested in seeing, because she was the biggest issue that we had at Formula, especially. Well, both of them really was timing, because remember those cameras you'd hit, to take the picture, and it would be a moment before it went right. So
especially action.
Yeah. So here's an action one of like, this is during the maneuverability, and it's sliding through with the dust, and she caught it perfectly. So now you have to add that element of timing the things, right? I'm sure she was trying for something else here while it's going around this tire. We got some great GoPros with this actually, with it coming. Like actually, there's the GoPro in the foreground on that hay bale, because it comes up around the tire and right by. And sometimes really, really close. Oh, we got some great shots of that. I can't wait to show off there. But we were doing Formula, and those things zoom, the Formula cars. So we're sitting by acceleration. And I was like, okay, we got to go back. We got to do this. I'd like to get the shot of, when they take off, like the back tire spins a bunch, right? And then zooms. And so first try, she got it. She knows the flow of the thing. Really, really great. So. Cool. Dave, you also What month is it, Dave? Remind
Sure,
us.
Yes, it is Asian American. Let me get to the
Asian
acronym.
American Pacific Islander.
Pacific Islander. Yes. Month. So today is the name is Ajay Bhatt. Grew up in Taiwan, moved to the U.S. for his degree, started to work at Intel. And in the mid 90s, and if you're a younger person, and old man Podner talking here, if you're a younger person, you may not realize how much of a pain in the butt was to get anything peripheral to work with your computer. In fact, this person, Ajay here, was having such trouble getting a printer to work, kind of spurred him and the Intel group, because USB was it is not just Intel, but he led the group at Intel that helped develop USB,
which is the Universal Serial Bus, if you never knew.
So that's what made true plug and play possible. Now, if you look at the screen, you can see the various plugs that were in the back of a computer back in the day.
We're talking about the serial port, the printer parallel port. We had the keyboard and mouse PS2 connectors. Again, a lot of these are pin based, kind of things on top of the.
Can bend very, very easily. Could bend it because you're trying to do this kind of in the back there.
Oh man, I've had a bent pin and just ruined my day. Absolutely, the onboard audio SPDIF out, which I've never used, and then 6 inputs and outputs for just the sound card as part of this. And this is an all-in-one motherboard as well. These used to be independent cards as well back when I started this stuff. So
you can tell this one's a little bit newer because it does have a USB port in it, or it has multiple USB.
And it's got a FireWire too.
right. Which again, another port. So you had to make sure that everything worked out. You may have had to download new drivers that for your particular peripheral to make sure everything works okay. And they eventually, of course, when you're working on a design like this, you're like, okay, we have to, we want this, but can we do this way? Do we have to, for money reasons, do it this way? And it's a bunch of back and forth you have to work on. This was when Intel was having commercials.
That was him in the commercial?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember this. Ajay converted USB. He's like doing the slow-mo hero walk, and everybody's just fawning over him like he's a superstar. And it's like our people are rock stars for this is Intel or
that was Intel.
It was Intel. Okay. Tremendous. This is like it was like a Super Bowl commercial or something, wasn't it?
It was, I forget, but it was one of they definitely pushed it, yeah.
Oh, it's an actor's portrayal of him.
Oh.
But so, not him actually, so.
Darn.
He retired from Intel in 2016, okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he's still active even though he's retired from Intel, because when I tried to do additional search on him, his LinkedIn profile came up.
Of course. Somebody like this does not retire, I'm sorry.
No.
You just don't if you're into the game like this.
So I mean, like I said, if you think, and I can tell you that one of the big changes, in terms of peripherals, was USB, and let's say Windows. When Windows allowed USB to work properly, and you didn't have to, like right now, you plug something into a computer, it doesn't matter, Windows, Mac, whatever. I shouldn't say I don't know Linux, but for most computers, you plug it in, it works.
For the most part, yes.
I have a keyboard, plug it in, it works. So the hardest part about USB-A is it upside down. Where at least USB-C, it doesn't matter, you do it which way. But, it pretty much works now. You don't have to, it's unusual for it not to work. Where before USB, it was unusual for it to work the first time, especially printers. Printers were.
Oh God, yes.
Touchy.
I mean, it's still an issue, but yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, very cool. Thank you for that update here. And if you want to see more, just give a search for our buddy Ajay Bhatt, I believe, is how we'll pronounce it today. Hey guys, also checking in. Chachi's going to let us know what's going on in the Video Game Minute.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Chachi Says Video Game Minute. Here's as much video game news I can cover in about a minute. Let's start with a quick follow-up to a story from last week. Mere hours after I reported that GameStop put in a laughable offer to buy eBay, eBay announced that they declined the offer because they agreed. So, I was right. And so was everyone else. The only people who didn't realize it was GameStop themselves. Next up, Amazon announced that the previously announced Lord of the Rings MMO has been canceled, but they are still exploring game options around the IP. This happened after they laid off every member of the development team in an effort to reduce the workforce by releasing 14,000 redundant employees. I guess some of them weren't redundant. And lastly, Dodie Repacks, the second most prolific repacker of pirated games, and the person behind Fit Girl, has announced that they will be stepping back from piracy to get married and become a lawyer. He stated that it will not be a complete shutdown, but will definitely be scaled back. Now that is a twist that no one saw coming. Thanks for watching this week's Chachi Says Video Game Minute. We'll see you next time.
We are back, the Awesome Cast with Dave Potter as well. Let's get into. First, let's give a shout out to our friends at Patreon.com/AwesomeCast. I know we haven't had a lot of extra content, but it's been kind of a weird time between traveling, and we'll have another month of weirdness, and we'll see what happens in the 2 weeks. Will be regular here, I believe. So, but thank you everybody to support the show: Brian Crawford, Cynthia Klosky, John Nagor, and of course Dave Potter, who also you can still use Dave's code Dave26 at gcxc.com/eventspa for a discounted registration for the races, and those are the foot races, not the races I was at.
No.
For instance. So Dave, again, you guys support the show too, patreon.com/awesomecast. Dave, you got a lot of stuff in here. You see, just added one too. Oh, there's that.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know that's news. Anyways, let's start with what's going on with iOS. You said it looks like there's some accessibility coming in over there.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird that they're announcing it now.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday is World Accessibility Day.
Sure.
But also today is Google I/O. So, could it be a coincidence that both Apple and Microsoft came out with some information, trying to steal a little spotlight? We all know how petty these companies are.
Yes.
But some of these technologies that Apple is going to introduce in iOS 27, exceptionally useful. Even if you don't need them for ability reasons, such as then they're using the on machine learning AI, if you want to call it, Apple Intelligence. So they give a really great video here about, so you'll be able to point your phone at wherever you're at and ask questions. Like here, she's pointing it at the bill and says, how much is this bill for and when is it due?
Mm-hmm.
And it's reading it back to her. Or someone sends her a photo and it's giving a description of what the photo is and reading back.
Oh, wow.
In this case, it's which of these shirts are plain and which one has the design on it. Or where are my keys at? Oh, your keys are to the left. So, and they also say, oh, the elevator's closed. And she points her phone up and says, oh, what does the sign say? And it says, oh, the sign says out of order, use this, and there's an arrow to the right.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, really helpful. And for, people have trouble reading because of sight issues. This would be a great help. Also, they're having it where any video, so this will be baked into the operating system, any video will have subtext. So you don't have to, I know YouTube have the subtitles put into it, but you don't. It'll be on the operating system.
It'll be
so you
it'll be
don't have to worry about
automatically. Oh wow, that's
automatically
incredible.
on any video. On
Okay.
any video, it'll have it out there.
Okay.
That'll be a big help, I think, not only for people who have problems hearing, but let's say you're in a loud situation,
Mm-hmm.
or you're in an area where you can't listen, you want to watch, but you don't maybe have headphones.
Mm-hmm.
And be a big help for that too. Or now, right now, it's only English, and it's only the U.S. and Canada,
Okay.
so it is limited to that. But let's say if you're someone who is learning English, that would be a big help also. They're having now. This one's out there. So if you have Vision OS and a motorized wheelchair,
And we're talking about the Apple Vision, their
Apple
sort of
Vision
AR
OS
AR
glasses, yeah.
VR glasses. Yes.
and let's say you're someone who we know people like can't use your arms to move your wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
So you just move your eyes and it'll allow you to move the wheelchair by just looking where you want to go.
Wow. This is
So you can
this
see-
would be a huge ALS thing too, because we've talked about that technology in the past. I think that's where this comes in handy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
And since it's, augmented reality, it's not virtual, you can see what's happening around you with that overlapped on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fine enough control from what they needed to do for the glasses. It can be used as, helping people move around.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that to me, this is where people can come out and say, our model can crunch so much of this and our model can do this and we can crunch. Great. Let's see some end uses.
Absolutely. And I do love there's also
This is
this
great.
this hand grip, this MagSafe hand
that's
grip that you
available
get
now.
too.
Yeah, that's
for-
available now.
Yeah, because I mean that's especially a lot of people just don't have that grip, to
Mhm.
hold that slick phone or anything these days. So allowing people to do that it makes a lot of sense. Hikawa is the company that's putting it out.
I don't know how expensive it is. No,
Yeah,
generally, if it's through Apple, unfortunately, it's going to be a little more.
They say now
expensive.
widely available, so it is the Hikawa Adaptive MagSafe accessory.
Mhm.
We'll do a quick search here and see if we can find it and see how much it is, because they don't say in the article, like you said, but they don't really put a lot of prices in. Like this is more like, hey, look at the stuff we can do, kind of thing. So does look like it is in their own store for $54.95 if you want to check that out. So that seems like something that even I think about anybody could use, right? So
Yeah.
that has any
Because
kind of
you
grip
can see
strength
it's
issue.
a stand, and
Mhm.
because of the way it's looked, you can use it as a stand. It is MagSafe compatible, so it's a little more secure.
So
And a couple different colors.
So for those, think like if you know pop sockets, but it's kind of this mound that comes off of the back of your phone, and the whole idea is that it gives you something more to grip, and there's like a hole in the middle for you to stick a finger to, so
Mhm.
that it helps with that adds a little bit to it. I almost feel like this is something I need to make sure I don't drop anything on a rock when I'm out in Baja, because I'm just clumsy, for the most part, and maybe that is I don't know, maybe that's the early warnings of a neurological disorder or something like that, because sometimes you just go, whoop, okay, there you go. Or Parkinson's, could be a thing that helps with that too. I keep thinking my grandfather trying to hold a phone, and we were trying to get him to have new technology so he would be more able, and he just was not able to steady enough to be able to operate something like that. So
Well,
this
that's
would
the
this
other
would be a
thing.
step forward for something like
Right.
that. Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing they're going to add is right now, if you want to use voice control over your phone, you have to talk in its language.
Mm-hmm.
Move button over. But now you'll be able to use normal language.
Mm-hmm.
Click the orange button. Or let's say if you have a folder, open the blah, blah, blah folder. Or open the folder on the far right.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier for someone to use.
Very cool. Very cool. Google I/O was today.
Yes.
That surprised me. Okay, one of the side things, maybe why I've been, if it seems like I'm less prepared, I've been listening to my tech podcast for over a month. like I try to do my daily tech news every once in a while, and I've been terrible with that too, with the trips and everything like that. I've replaced all of it with my audiobooks. So, which is probably better because everybody's just complaining about AI these days anyways. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of that,
and that's been kind of gross, and some of it's creeping in my inbox and DMs as well. Anyways, Google I/O, what are they up to today?
It's all agentic AI, in fact. It's not just AI.
Whoa,
It's
okay.
agentic AI.
Agentic.
So the idea is that, and a lot of this is through search.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do things like, oh, I wasn't able to find this. Let me know when it's available through search. Or I want to make a little widget to do something. I'll do it through Google search.
Okay.
So it's vibe coding, but it's through Google search. And they're integrating a lot of Gemini a lot more Gemini into Google search.
Okay. Okay.
Which I know there's a lot of kickback for AI inside of search.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's nice to get a summary, but if I want to know something, sometimes I want to actually, let's say beginning of the show, I'm bright and sunny.
Yeah, exactly.
But you want to see the actual source, not an AI summary.
Mm-hmm.
So, going into Google Docs and going into things and having AI do things automatically, or saying, oh, look for this, and it will throw it into your cart. It won't check out for you, but it will put it into your cart automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of agents doing things and Google going around and dealing with the agents and having things built by Google instead of having to go to someone else.
Yeah.
Also, ways that other people can build the widgets and have it set up so you could do things and have agents. So the new buzz term isn't just AI, it isn't large language model, it's these agents doing everything now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of stuff in the article here. It's really pushing like new models for Google Ultra, which is $100 a month. So that feels like that's more of a enterprise kind of option. I can't imagine too many people dropping $100 a month just to use AI stuff, unless they really got some, they do have some shopping. Universal Cart is coming up. Man. Google Workspace is getting Gmail Live, which lets you conversationally search your emails. Okay. Is that just built in or not? I did notice Gemini did change a little bit today, because once again, I kind of use it as an extended, when I'm researching something, honestly, I like Google as I know it's the better search agent, and AI just kind of wraps around that for me. Things like, I was like, okay, what do I need to do to fix this camera? This thing's weird with it. Like, Gemini's the place I'm going. ChatGPT is where I do work. Gemini is where I research things. It feels like the way to go. Unless it's something like, hey, by the way, ChatGPT's in my car now. Not just through Siri. There's an app on there for pulling up ChatGPT voice-wise on your CarPlay. Docs Live is another one to create and edit documents. Again, conversationally kind of searching and things like that. Google Keep is going to be getting free-flowing thoughts into concise notes. Again, this is stuff I feel like if you're using an iPhone, it's kind of already built in. Google Pix has an AI image generation and design app. Really? So you can ask YouTube to handle complex search queries and follow-ups. And again, I feel like we get into this world where, I'm going to voice do this stuff, just like we all put Google Homes in, and we say, hey, G, but then nobody ended up doing that. Hey, these are great ideas, but I work in a workspace. I can't talk to my computer all day, right? So we're still getting to that. Oh, we have Android XR. Oh, we're getting Google eyeglassware again. That's very interesting.
Yes, and they actually look normal-ish.
Warby Parker and Gentle Monster are putting some out. And those are, again, they're labeled as intelligent eyewear. Audio glasses coming this fall. Hardware is made by Samsung and Qualcomm, with externals designed by, like I said, General Monster and Warby Parker. So this is kind of the equivalent of what we're seeing from Facebook.
Right.
And I would consider these a lot harder than Facebook. Like I would be into this. And they can be paired with both Android and iPhone. Oh, okay. Now you've opened that up to me, just like you did with the Google Glass that decade and a half ago. Android Halo, what is this? You didn't catch up on that? At a glance, visibility
No.
into what your agent is working on at a given time. What? What?
Yeah, and that's a little
That's
scary.
saying, hey AI, what you thinking about? So, hey, a little transparency about how that works. There is something, I think there is a mode in ChatGPT where it can say, show me how you came up with this. Because I know
there is a thinking mode where you can, as it's doing it,
yes,
it'll say, "Oh, I'm doing this now. I'm doing this now.
I was playing with ChatGPT trying to code something. Remember I was playing with the games and stuff like that a few months ago, and you watch the process as it goes through it. It's so fascinating. And I've been have this dream of I have this platform, and I know I can make an app with some APIs that they have, but I have no idea where to start. And I was kind of poking at that, and I'm hoping if I sit down for a weekend, like I have a weekend, I think I could create an app for IndieWrestling.us. You just got to pay for the developer thing, and it would spit something out that would fundamentally work. I don't need anything extravagant, right? Anything like that. Create my Android, create my iPhone app, and pay the developer fee and hopefully go to work, right? Ideally. We'll see. So, all right. Anything else from Google I/O that looks like AI, and some glasses?
It's pretty much AI because they introduced a lot of Android stuff last week.
And again, I don't get excited by a lot of this stuff because, like,
I want to see the output.
I want to see the output. How many things do they announce that don't happen? And is it something that's actually going to be useful, or is something else going to happen in 2 weeks with one of these other ones? And, I can't keep up. I'm trying to keep up. People are yelling at me because I use AI sometimes, but I'm experimenting, and I'm failing in public. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like on not client projects, it's really incredible the things that AI has helped with my client workflows. Actually, that is something that gives me a guide to work with as an expert in the field. But it cleans some stuff up for me, and helps me do some things. I'm honestly screwing myself because it's something that would have taken me about 10 hours to do. I got done in like 4. So there goes. That's why my rates need to go up. So because it's one of those. Oh, I can do it in half the time now. But if I didn't know what I know from my experience, even using AI, you're not getting that in 4 hours. You're not getting the quality that I'm putting out in 4 hours. And we're talking about a video edit where we have interviews and we stick them all in and say, hey, what does it look like? What was it? I want to take all the quotes that talk about this, this, and this. What do those look like? And then I go, nope, good start. Okay. But it gives me a groundwork to do that. And one of the problems I have is getting started with that process because again, I am starting to understand that spicy brain that I have. And I can throw that at AI to do the things that I will never be better at, right? And get to the point where I can create the thing and use the skills I am good at. Right. So that's the idea going into that, and it's that enabling factor more than anything.
Yeah. And I'm hoping, because you hear people talking about AI slop now, I'm hoping we get to the point where. Because there are people who will use like the part you use to get started and say, okay, I'm done. And then you can tell, no.
Yeah.
You need next. So I'm hoping that eventually after the initial flow, people will be like, okay, we have enough.
Sorry about that. Jeez, he's a little tired for a podcast.
Yeah, I know. But the next step, now it's like, okay, we know what's AI, but we don't want to make it look better. So who now has that additional skill?
Yeah, yeah.
So they
Yeah.
don't. Everyone's saying AI is going to take jobs. It's going to take some jobs, but there's still that.
You're gonna have a lot of people that lean too hard. The thing that bugs me the most that I've seen a few times now is when they think the AI answer is better than the professional's answer, the seasoned professional's answer. Not me personally, but I've seen this happen in some other spaces, and it's like, oh, that's going to be a problem, right? You know, because now it's that whole, you know, we're not getting that debate. Hey, let's get something fun because we went down a road there. You were asking me about this. This is something that Katie and I got super excited about earlier this year.
I'll be back in a minute, Sorg. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to explain it to you.
Okay, now I'll be listening, but I didn't
okay.
admit
So in the meantime, so this is let me get the oh no, where's the main article for this? So there is the Transformers Apology Tour. Now this is a celebration of the original Transformers movie. Why is it an apology tour? Because if you were not, like me, and traumatized by the death of Optimus Prime as a child, because we wanted new toys, so we had to kill all the ones from the first 2 seasons, apparently, and this is what we have. So they released the hilarious trailer earlier this year that, again, was like, we're sorry about what we did 40 years ago with the Transformers movie and killing Optimus Prime. The 1986 animated film continues with re-releases. Now, I've seen a re-release of this in the theater already. I think the 30th edition, the 35th, I don't know. It's going to be released in the theater with 4K, and they're going to be doing some other things with it. They're doing a new version of the album, in which Stan Bush's "The Touch" is an amazing thing that comes from that. And I love the tagline. 40 years later, it still hits like a truck. And it's the dead Optimus Prime. This is a Fathom event. This is one of those kind of special like releases. It'll probably be for 2 or 3 days in your area, wherever it is, coming September 17th initially. So I'm going to be looking for dates that will work there. They are doing 10 re-recorded and reimagined tracks. I heard a couple seconds of the new Stan Bush "The Touch," and again, there's just some more. It's just a little more recent, kind of engineered and everything like that from the sounds of it. I am here for it. On top of that, I was very excited because apparently somehow in my feed, I got the artist that helped work on this a little bit. And one of the things that I got to see pop up was they are of course releasing this on vinyl, which looks tremendous. And let's see if I got the picture right here. You can get it on pink cassette tape. So that's what's going on. It's the reformatted edition of the soundtrack, by the way. So that's pretty incredible. Dave, do you understand the apology tour now?
I do, yeah.
Yes, because it still hits like a truck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I love it. But looking forward to a 4K. I think I already have a Blu-ray of it in 4K. If I'm not, I buy every edition that comes. This is that movie that I buy every edition that comes out. I don't think there's another one that I do that for. But this is the one where I will buy every. I have one VHS copy, at least 2 DVDs, and I think a Blu-ray at the very least. Oh, and the Blu-ray's not in 4K, but I bet I'm buying a new copy of that soon. I don't know if the digital edition that I can't remember if I bought it separately. I think I did buy it separately. But anyways, so that gives you the idea there. Hey, you had one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
One last thing, right?
Yes.
Epic Games has an announcement, and what's going on with Fortnite?
Sure. If Fortnite is available today, it was put back on the iOS App Store for everywhere, I believe, Australia.
Okay.
Because of legal reasons, Australia. So this isn't the mobile Fortnite. This is the full Fortnite that was pulled 4 years ago.
Okay, and this is around. So Fortnite has been on my phone, and I thought that was through the App Store, because we do not have the Epic Game Store in America. You have to be in Europe in order for the because that's an EU thing that they let them do that. If you go to the Epic Store, there is its own app store there that you can download and purchase apps from, right? Presumably games. I don't know the extent of it other than like being Fortnite, something like that. So okay, so this is a wider release.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Good.
And I don't know if you had maybe an older version.
No, it was off.
Used to be on.
It was off until like in some court case went through and they put it back on. Okay. I believe. I don't think I have it sideloaded or anything like that. So, because there was all the workarounds, and I didn't touch it until it became official again on the iPhone side of things. I still play it mostly on my, Switch and Xbox. Right. Honestly, well, Switch probably mostly right now. But I presume this means wider around the world, as we're talking about, except for Australia because of things going on. So, good to hear that. So, because I think it was a stupid battle. I'm not with Apple on this one. I think it's, I think they kind of have overextended their deal there, and it becomes a little bit of rent seeking at this point, But hey, that's what. Supposed to happen. Look at those monopolies and everything. Dave, thank you so much for the photography and the stuff, and and one more week of me trying to get you to start reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's got pictures now. And again, if it seems like a little wild, this is a bite-sized thing to get you started and see if you like the vibe of this thing and go from there. If you don't like the visuals necessarily, you can make your own visuals in your head, and there's plenty of visual references. This is what I want. I want to be able to easily, cheaply, and probably illegally, I don't know, maybe I do it illegally if I bought the copies anyways, get a digital version that I can copy and paste passages. This is how I want to use AI. I was telling Katie this the other day. I want to copy and paste the description of and then this thing appeared, and it's got this and this and this many arms. It looks like this, but with this. I want to drop that into AI and say, make me a picture of what this looks like.
Okay, yeah.
Just a one-off thing to help my brain wrap around what's going on, because I just lose it, and it's just kind of I don't know, it's a thing. It's probably everything ends up being a goblin in my mind. Everything's a green goblin in my mind. That's what we end up with. So for the most part, Dave, thank you so much. At Sorgatron on all the social media. There are clips and pictures and stuff going on my page, on Katie's social media, as well as over on the Sidekick Media. We just put a post up with some images and some background on this past week. Videos going up all the time. I have this one video. Oh, I'm waiting on approval for marketing. I really want to see it. I did a really, really, really cool, fun, quick video with General Motors at their booth at the Michigan Speedway. Dave, I may quietly share it with you, but I shouldn't say that on the podcast. Nope. You're part of the internal team of Sidekick and Sorgatron Media, technically. So, and plus you work for the company it's through. So it doesn't. Yeah. So, actually, you are a contractor with me. I do have work through Sidekick with you. We do pay you.
Yes.
I forgot that. Dave, I forgot that I paid you. I just paid you.
Yes, you did.
So,
no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No. It's in my spreadsheet. It's in my spreadsheet. It's real. So, guys, thank you so much. We'll be back next week with more awesomeness. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network.